Okay, so lung 8, meridian gutter. The position of the patient, supine in the anatomical position, the arms at the side and flat on the couch with the palms facing upwards. On the anterior surface of the forearm, again, this is the posterior, so we're looking at the anterior here, and the anterior is the inside of the arm. On the ulnar, medial side of the radius, so the ulnar is across here, radius along here, so we're looking at the ulnar side of the radius bone. On the line connecting lung 5 to lung 9, and we know lung 5 is here, and if you just make a fist for me, we can feel along the muscle group here to come down to lung 9. It's approximately 1 cent, proximal to lung 9 of the wrist flexure. So we know that that's 1 cent. It's level with the medial to the prominence of the stalenoid process of the radius. And again, the stalenoid process is this flare at the end of the radial bone. It's on the lateral radial aspect of the radial artery, and it's lateral to the tendons of the flexor carpi radialis. So again, flex for me, and I can feel Jake's arms moving there. I can feel his tendons flexing, and I'm just going to go here. Lung 8. Now lung 9. The very great abyss, lung number 9. Lung number 9 is a source point. It's an earth tonification point. It's located on the anterior flexure of the wrist, in the articulation between the proximal edge of the scaphoid bone and the tip of the stalenoid process of the radius. I'd like to just point out the scaphoid bone because I think it's quite useful to have a look at the bones in the hand, and hopefully I have marked the page of the hands here. So this is the basic makeup of the hands. This is the stalenoid process of the radius, and that's the top part of the hand that we're looking for. The names of these bones aren't necessarily seen very clearly here. So if I look over here, it's number A, it's the bone that we're looking for here. So here I need to feel for the wrist flexure, and I would do this by asking Jake if he'd mind me moving his hand. I can feel here the bone in the base of the hand, and I can feel the wrist flexure. So I'm going to place this point here. That for me would be lung 9. And as you can see, these points go in a line following the muscles down the arm. We'll move on from lung 9 now to lung 10. And lung 10 is actually moving on to the hand itself. Lung 10 is called the fish region. It's an area that's forbidden to Moxa it's a fire point. The position of the patient is supine in the anatomical condition, the arms flat and on the side on the couch with the palms facing upwards. It does mention in the Jinglo that for this one the patient can be in a seated position. The location is at the radial extremity of the palmar surface of the hand, and the palmar surface of the hand is here. It's at the point midway between the base and the head of the first metacarpal bone. And I generally tend to get the metacarpals and the metatarsals mixed up. The only way that I usually remember the metacarpal bones are in the hand is by knowing that there's a carpal tunnel at the bottom of this wrist. So the first metacarpal bone is here on Jake's hand. Are you comfortable? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Do you want a pillow under your legs? Okay. So the radial extremity of the palmar surface of the hand, at the point midway between the base and the head of the first metacarpal bone. It's on the ulnar aspect of the first metacarpal bone, so again on the ulnar side of this bone, in the channel on the radial lateral edge of the opponus pollicis muscle between the muscle and the first metacarpal bone, at the junction of change in the skin colour, red to white. And if you look at Jake's hand quite carefully, you can see the white of the outside edge of the skin, and moving here, the pink of his palm. Everyone's is different. On my hands, the pink is here, so you can see that my line here is slightly different from Jake's. Yeah. But we're looking for this part of the hand, we're looking for this bone here, we're looking for the ulnar side of this bone, and we're looking to put this point here, halfway up the side of the hand and between the muscle and the bone. Let me just lie you flat just so I can just feel that. Yeah, and that would be lung 10. We're going to move on from lung 10 to lung 11. And lung 11 is the Little Merchant. It's a wood point. Its location is on the hand, on the posterior aspect of the first digit. So posterior is the back of the hand. So we're moving round slightly from the inside of the arm to almost the side of the hand, and now we're moving to the back of the thumb, the posterior of the thumb. The radial nail point of the first digit, approximately 0.1 cm proximal to the corner of the nail, just distal to the flare of the distal phalanx. So usually if I just show you here at the bottom of the bone is a flare, and here at the bottom of the bone here is a flare. The flare on a bone is usually widest at the base of the bone. So this is where we're going to look at the thumb, and we're going to aim for this flare, and that's where we find the flare here. Here, there on Jake's nail point. And that's the lung meridian. Runs up here, along the seam of the muscle down here, across the hand, around the side of the hand, to this nail point. I'm going to thank Jake for being hugely patient, and I'm going to thank Grant for being an excellent camera person today. Thank you, boys, and we'll meet you here for the large intestine meridian later on. Thank you.